So if you see over here sitting in a distance, you're going to notice that we have our gold Jeep. Yeah, the motor's locked up tight on it. So I am working on a deal to go get another Jeep that is salvaged, but we got motor and stuff in it. I don't know, we might fix that one. I'm not sure yet. I've not seen it in person. But in order to go get it, I need a trailer. And the problem is my trailer is so rotten that I'm afraid whatever I put on it will fall through it. So we're going to redeck the trailer. Oh yeah, did I mention the trailer's got a slightly bent frame and none of the lights work on it real well, so it really needs a paint job, but it's not getting one of those. Not right now anyways. So we're going to get started. Alright, so let me show you what we're into now, and this may or may not work, but it's going to be interesting. So we have got, that's a 20-ton jack, that's a 12-ton jack, I think, and we've got chains to the ends over here, and then a chain up there to the front on each side, tightened down. We've not put the pressure on them yet, but if you look, let me walk you back here. If you can see that frame up through there, I don't know if you can or not, but it's a little bowed. And probably just as easy to see that you can probably see that the outside rail right here has got a bow in it.
See the pink string.
Yeah. So this thing's been bowed since I bought it. And so we've got a string down here on this one here. And we've got a string running up to the front there. And right here where the jack is, it's roughly 3/4 of an inch out. Now it was a little further out than that before we started binding all the chains down. So we're going to apply some pressure and try and straighten this frame back up, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to get this shot right here. So we've got a piece of square tube there to keep from warping that frame too bad. You can see it's already kind of bent in a little bit, but it's got that piece of square tube locked in place. There is an immense amount of pressure on that chain. When I say that, I mean that thing might as well be a bar. I can't move it. There's no flex give in it whatsoever. The 20-ton jack is all the way out. And the reason we have put our jacks where we put them at is because this is the location in the frame when you look down the frame well where it was bent at. And so we want to push in on the bend and pull out on the sides. And so that's why we're doing it the way we're doing it. And if you look at our little string right here, it is within a 1/16 inch. You can barely see it there, but there we go. It's within a 16 inches of the frame. So what we are going to do is we're going to let this sit here in fatigue in this position for a little bit. We're going to go down and get us a sandwich. But that one over there is banjo tight too. We got the binders to get the tension where we wanted it to start with, and then use the hydraulic jacks to press out. We might have overfilled that one laying on its side, but yeah, we got a lot of pressure going right here. And we had to, I about fell down backing over the shaft here. We had to take this tire off over here because we're working on the outside of the frame, and on that side we're working on the inside of the frame because the bend was that way. So, and yeah, I paid $1,900 for this gooseneck. It is a Corn Pro. It does have a title. Matter of fact, you can go back in later videos and you can see when I went to Indiana to get this. I bought it off an auction site, and I've used it for a while, but it's just gotten too rotten to do anything with, and before I redeck it, we're going to give it some love. So, we'll get you a sandwich. Okay, so things got real serious. I don't know how well this is going to work, but it got real serious. So we are flirting with disaster right now. Let me show you. That one is a 6-ton jack, and we've got it running the outside of this rail, pushing back in the center of this section. That's the 20-ton, and that one has got a hold of that end of the bottom side of the frame, and right back here on this end of the bottom side of the frame. So let me take you over to the other side. This over here is a 12-ton jack. And so it's got a hold of the frame right here. And of course we tension them up with these turnbuckles. We press them out. And that one's got a hold of the front side there. So the more important part about all this is it working? Well, with the pressure on the jacks, it is for certain. Our string on this side is actually dipping under the frame right here. And if you come back, and I'll try and give you guys a good shot of this. That was pretty well straight. To be noted, we found out that like 4 of those are not welded back to the side rail. We're gonna have to weld those before we put the decking back on. Okay. They broke loose. This side over here is now bowed the opposite direction. Now, you're gonna say, oh, well, you bent it back the other way. Relax. When we let all the pressure off this is gonna give. So now the important part about this is when we started, we was about 3/4 of an inch off that line on the frame at the widest part. If we can get this within 1/4 of an inch, yeah, it's not perfect, but that's a win, and you will likely never notice it. It pulled good before. So we're getting ready to take all the pressure off this and see what our end result is. But that right there is what, 20, 32. So 48 or 38, yeah, 38-ton press right there. If one of those things come loose, it'll probably hurt one of us.
Just don't do this at home.
Yeah, this is not, do not do what we do. This is idiotic, but it's working. So here we go. Well, the frame's about as straight as it's going to get. It straightened up quite a bit. and I'm gonna try and look down through here so you can see. It's still got a little bit of a bow in it, but it is far better than it was. I think the measurement ended up being 3/8 or right under 3/8 when we got done, and when we started it was off by 3/4. So I'm gonna call that a win, and that's good enough, because honestly before you barely knew unless you sighted the frame rail anyways. And I can still see it here, but once we get a deck on it, I don't know if I'll be able to see it from the underneath side. You can barely tell. It's got a slight bow. But I cleaned up the top of the rails and painted them with a little bit of paint. We straightened up all the sides there, and this back section right here was awful. It was all bent up. So that's all straightened up now. And most of those down through there were not welded to the side anymore. The welds broke loose. That's all fixed now. So that is it for tonight. Tomorrow morning I'll be back, and we're going to tear into the electrical, because right now the one break right down there, it's Bluetooth. It's completely wireless. So I don't know how much this stuff works, how much it doesn't work. I know the head tail lights don't work like they're supposed to. So I'm gonna try and fix the electrical tomorrow. We're gonna pop some lights in the sides of it down through here, and then we'll put the new deck on it. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, and for you it'll be just a split second. Okay, so we've been working on wiring and some other stuff, drilling holes. You can see I've got me a bunch of little yellow lights down through here. So none of that stuff's all too fun. We put a couple deck boards in just so we can have a workbench. So I'm going to show you guys how we're going to go about putting the deck boards in this thing and how to measure and do all that. So let's get started. Okay, so one thing, if you've got a straight trailer front and rear, you can cut all your boards the same length and not worry about it at all. Obviously this thing's been bent a little bit. This back's got a little bit of a bow in it. So we're going to measure for every board for the most part. So Dad's got that in. He's going to hold it against the underneath side. I'm going to come down here and go underneath. And it looks like I'm about 190 3/8. Something like that. So we're going to cut that at 190 1/4. We've done those ones over there. It's you want to leave somewhere between 1/8 to 1/4 of allow it to expand to move around, something like that. Obviously the tighter you make it the better, but also if it does expand it could be hard on your trailer frame, cause swelling and hooving and that kind of thing. So we're going to try and do like a 1/4 inch gap. So probably about 90 190 1/8 for this outside piece. It's actually, that's what the other one was. That first one was 190 1/8, so that's about right. So we're going to cut some boards and measure each spot and then start fitting them in. Alright, so here is where things get a little interesting. We can no longer put them in at an angle and straighten them up. The next 3 pieces have to be put in by bowing them. So we're going to try and move this operation outside a little bit and use a little bit of help from the tractor. There's several ways to do this. This way may not work, but we're going to try it. So we'll see what happens. Come up, son. 4. 5, 4. Go. Come down. Okay, now hold right. Tilt. Back out. That's how that one's done. We gotta do that 2 more times. Well, the new deck's on it, and the lighting's fixed, and the frame's repaired, so this has been a journey, but I think everything's pretty good to go now. We can haul some stuff with it again, and I feel a lot better about how sturdy the trailer is, knowing that all these are welded back together on this side. But guys, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button down there, give us a thumbs up, all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.